Hi, this is Shiva Rajaya from vitalcoaching.com, and the topic for this video is what you must know about meditation. There's a tiger who just came into the room here. Wow. Okay. What you must know about meditation. Look at this. So cute. Hey. He likes to be on camera. He's the best meditator in life. This is why he came over here, to remind you that nature is naturally meditative. Okay, so the first thing to understand about meditation is that it's a practice. Okay, it's not a thought form. It's not something that you think about, that you just read about. It's like, how do you learn how to swim? You swim. How do you learn how to meditate? You meditate. It's a practice. If you think about it, nothing is going to happen. You have to actually dive into the practice and try the techniques that I'm suggesting here, or whoever else is suggesting them. You have to try it. It's a practice. Second thing that you have to know about meditation is that you have hundreds of techniques. And even though you have hundreds of techniques, it's good to focus on a few selected ones until you start really mastering those specific techniques. You have an infinite number of possibilities and ways of approaching it. But focus, okay? Choose a few selected ones and then you start diving into these techniques until you master them. The third very important point is that it takes, in my experience, 1 to 3 months of practice to master a given technique. If you never practiced a breathing technique, for instance, like dynamic breathing, suppose that we go into that one. Okay, that's a dynamic fire breath technique. So suppose that you start practicing this technique. In my experience, it gets maybe 1 to 3 months of practice for your body and your mind to get really used to it, so that you really integrate it and it becomes part of your life. So what it means is that if you practice it for a week and then drop the technique, it's good because you already practiced for a week, but it's like the long-term benefits are not going to be sustained. They are starting to be sustained when it's something that you make it part of your life, rather than just practicing it once and then forgetting about it. Okay, so it takes really a while to master this technique. It takes some practice, and we are not talking about like 3 hours a day. Okay, sometimes it's just 5 minutes every day. The fourth thing that is important for you to understand is that even though it takes a while to master these techniques and really make them part of your life, part of your habits, part of your body, the benefits are instant. It means that when you meditate 5 minutes, what you're going to receive from these 5 minutes of meditation are already valuable. The benefits are there. They exist. You don't have to wait for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months for this to appear. The sense of peace, the sense of expansion of your awareness, the sense of stillness, the sense of synchronicity, the sense of connection with what goes on around you is going to be established straight away because you practice that. It's like when you train your muscles, you go to the gym or you go outdoor and do some fitness training, the benefits for your muscle are already there straight away. So you don't have to wait for these benefits to kick in. And that's another important point to remember. If you want to be successful with meditation, it's important also to start with small steps. There is something a little bit of, pride or prestige in the idea that, okay, I'm going to start meditating. I never meditated before. I'm going to start with meditating 1 hour every day. This is my target. This is my goal. So you talk about it with your friends and everybody, wow, great. Wow, this is really good decision. But guess what? It's probably going to be difficult to sustain it on the long term if you never meditated before. So instead of going for 1 hour, because what might happen is that you burn out. In the practice, it requires too much discipline, too much effort. It requires too much time Therefore, sometimes you're not going to be able to sustain it. So my advice is very simple. Start with small steps, something that you can easily afford. The prestige and the pride is not as high, but this is not what we are after. This is not an egoic expansion. It's not something that you don't do it to talk about it with your friends. You do it because of the benefits. It's an internal practice. So those 5 minutes every day, you do them for a week or for a month. And once this is really easily established in your life, then you start stretching for more. If for you the idea of meditating 15 minutes or 1 hour every day is super easy and you are able to do it straight away, that's fine, go for it. But for most people, you will need to start with smaller steps. So focus on that. 5 minutes every day. You set up your timer, okay? You've got an iPhone or another type of smartphone. You set up a timer for 5 minutes and you meditate for 5 minutes every day. The timer gives you a structure, and that structure very often is an essential aspect or support in your practice as well. So if you don't want to use the timer, that's fine, it works as well. But having the timer there is kind of, it gives you a little bit of frame, but you know exactly for how long you will be meditating instead of having to check your watch come out of your meditation. So that gives you a certain sense of peace. Another important element is that you want to think long term. You see, this is not a marathon. This is not about meditating like for a month very intensely and then forgetting about the practice and then never practicing that again. No, the meditation techniques is something that you want to integrate in your daily life. You really want to bring this type of simple, peace building and awareness building, consciousness expanding techniques in your life and sustain that easily on the long term. It's like every day you take a shower, every day you drink water, every day you have at least 5 minutes of focused intention in your mind where you come to a place of stillness, where you create back this very clear canvas in your mind. So think long term. Another element that you must know about meditation is that it helps a lot to get some support or some help to create a space or an environment which is really supportive for that practice. And one of the first elements that you can think about is like in your own personal space. Create a space where you feel that it's a good space to meditate. It's like if your house is filled with furniture and couches and there isn't really even the space to sit down, that's already going to be a hindrance, a limitation. Another aspect is connect with teachings online. Like for instance, you're watching this video right now. I have many more videos on my channel and on my website. So go and check this out. There is tons of information on meditation and spiritual evolution, spiritual development, spiritual training. So that's something that you can go and check as well. The third aspect of getting help and support is really to connect with people who are aligned with the same intention. It's like, of course, you are going to sustain your fitness practice, for instance, if you surround with people who are obsessed with fitness, and who think about it a lot or who practice as well. They become reflections or mirrors of what you can achieve and the practice that you can establish. So if you have a group of people and from all these friends, a few of them are into meditation and spiritual training techniques, it's going to be much easier. This is why you have movements. This is why you have groups and traditions that form around certain practices, because it offers this momentum and this synergy that keeps you going forward even if you don't make any effort. So when it's just you, isolated in your own flat, you can still break through, but it relies a lot on your own willpower and your own determination. And sometimes you will be distracted by other stuff. So these are elements to remember. So here are again the 7 points that I think are important for you to remember. Practice, you have hundreds of techniques. It takes 1 to 3 months to master a technique. The benefits are instant. Start with a short, simple practice, think long term, and build a help or support network or structure that helps you sustain meditation practices. This will change your life if you never tried. I encourage you to, yeah, to really go for it. I'll see you soon again. Take care. Bye bye.